Hello, welcome back to some chill maths. I'm James. This is going to be just some maths on Twitch. That's a thing that we do now. It's just how we do what we do. My plan is that we're going to do various bits of maths, and my plan is to have all of the technology working. Hey, welcome, Super Snowman 16. Thanks for the follow. I saw that a couple of hours ago, just before I went live, maths_fan subscribe with Prime, which is a thing you can do. If you've got Amazon Prime, then I'm sure you're enjoying Black Friday. I'm enjoying Black Friday. Look at these. I got these adorable little Lego succulent plants. They're so cute. This is not sponsored by Amazon, except in the sense that we're on Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon, so the fact that this website is free to use is in some sense because of Amazon money. But hey, they gave me a tiny cactus. They didn't give it to me. I bought it with my own money. Right, capitalism, eh? Isn't that good? Hi up, IT people in chat as well. Twitch says I've got 8 viewers, which astonishes me a tiny bit, because look, if that's not off-putting enough, like, obviously no fun video games are going to happen in that space, and what makes it worse is it says maths. Right, okay. But cool, nice to see you. When I wasn't doing my bit about Amazon Prime there, I was also thinking about what maths we were going to do today. I've got several ideas. Maths is fun. don't forget it. I think one of the classrooms at my school had a sign that said "Maths is fun." So far, so maths classroom. But it had a rider underneath. There was more text underneath that said something else, like "Don't forget it" or something really. Who's on the A1? Hopefully not driving, but. Gosh, dedication to the bit. Hi, Neutrino. We've looked at several topics on the live stream. Something I enjoy is showing you new topics, but also something that seems valuable is to revisit topics we've done before and just to update a little bit. I'm going to try and do a bit of both. I want to show you some more chill stuff, including some things that people have sent in, and I want to talk a bit about problems we've done before, but hopefully show you some new stuff too. Good. Super Snowman, that was actually your first time in chat, and you followed. First time in chat and follow. Oh, good stuff. Right, okay. I have to talk about the egg maze problem. So for people just joining, the egg maze problem, it's a terrible name for a problem. I've got to find a better way to put this together. But the question is, if you look at the 6 choose 3 ways to order 111000, so there are 6 choose 3 of these because there are 6 digits and 3. Oh, Super Snowman, sorry, you told me as well. You're Olaf. Hi, Olaf. Olaf, I would like to show everyone the diagram that you sent me. If that's not okay, please let me know in chat. Sorry, right, problem specification. There are 6 choose 3 ways to order these. If you consider 2 orderings to be linked or connected, maybe, like a graph or a map of the rooms of a maze. Rooms of a maze? We go through so many different interpretations. Yeah, cool, right, good, okay. That's consent for content. If you consider the 2 orderings to be connected if, now this is sometimes a little bit tricky to, if the only difference is substring 10 changing to substring 01 or vice versa. ... because there was an if at the front. I kind of regret putting the if at the front. If you consider 2 orderings to be connected, if and only if the only difference is changing a 10 to a 01, so it's like moving a 1, whoop, just one place, then you can ask about the graph you get. Is this traversable? And traversable means you go from via every ordering without visiting twice. So it's not every edge in the graph connecting things together. It's not the one where you draw it without taking your pen off the page. It's visiting every point. So in a sense, it's like these bell ringing problems where you have to go through all the combinations. Here, it's to go through all of the possible orderings of 111000. But in between, the only move you can make is to move as one along one place. So if you start with 111000, the only thing that's connected to is 110100. The rule is we can change a substring 10. Oh, can I point? Yes, I can. The only thing we're allowed to change is the substring 10 to 01 or vice versa. There aren't any 01 substrings in here. There is a 10, so we can change it. Then we've got a choice. We could change this 10. We could change this 01. We could change the 10. Actually, one of those is banned because we can't go back. The traversal is supposed to go through all of the different orderings exactly once each. So we could go to. Let's get this right. We could go to this, or we could go one step further like that. And it's not clear which one we want to do. This is why I call it a maze, because it's got these branching paths where we decide what to do. We want to visit everything in the maze. Morning, Mountain Ash. Right, the answer turns out to be yes, and it's kind of a fun maze to explore. There are 20 of these orderings because 6 choose 3 is equal to 20. It's kind of a fun maze to explore. I'm going to leave that to you if you haven't seen this problem before. The next version I want to think about is the 8 choose 3 version. Next. We did some counting arguments last week to try to convince ourselves that the only interesting cases are the ones with an even number of digits and an odd number of ones. Yeah, so in that's brilliant. That's a double meaning of ordering. That's excellent. I love it. I like it a lot. Maybe it's in binary, in which case it's only 8, 16, 32. It's merely 56x, which brings us on to the next problem, because 8 choose 3 is 56. So it's a maze that's about twice the size. And this one seems to have caught people's imagination a little bit because people have been writing into me. So far, nobody's told me that it's traversable. Signs point to maybe. Not quite maths yet, but signs point to maybe. Wait, 6 sub C sub 3. Oh, no, so I'm trying to use this. Some people use this notation for binomial coefficients. You know, these ones. Some people write them like this, like a binomial, like a vector. And some people write them with a capital C, with a subscript 3 and a superscript 6 to the left, kind of like a diagonal. This is surprisingly hard to typeset because what's the 6 superscripted from? Like nothing. Some people do that. The C is supposed to be mid-aligned. Always here for typesetting questions. Groovy. Right, okay. There are so many ways to write these binomial coefficients. Hey, thanks for the sub. That's Jakimi, who's subscribed with Prime, which is a thing you can do. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for giving me a tiny bit of Jeff Bezos' money to give to charity, because this stream is permanently in charity mode. If we get to the unlikely situation where I'm allowed to cash out any money from this, it'll go to charity. And because I've joked that that's unlikely to happen, I should say that I donated to charity before just so that we'd be ahead. I kind of pre-committed in a way. Otherwise the donations like that come in and eventually you give it to charity. So what I'm doing instead is I'm giving it to charity and then maybe getting paid back eventually, and then I'll donate that to charity and we do it again. Matrix notation. Yeah. People have got so many ways to write. It doesn't really help that in school, for me at least, they taught me all of them. So inconsistent. Right, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh yeah, the 8 choose 3 problem. 56 states to visit. And And what you might want to do is to try and draw out a map, right? So H use 3. It's kind of clear you want to start with a state like this one, or maybe the one with all the ones at the end, because those are sort of dead ends. They're only connected to one thing each, and if you try to visit them along the way, you'll go into that state and then get stuck, because you'll move a 1, looking at this one, you'll move a 1 to the end, you'll get to this state, and then you've got to be done, because you can't move a 1 back again without revisiting a state, without visiting twice. Let's make that easier to read because it's important. So you want to start like this and then explore the other kind of 54 nodes to see if it's traversable or not. Olaf sent me a graph, so a picture of this. I saw there was a link in chat as well, which I want to explain, but this is the one you sent me, of the map of what these look like. Never too late to learn stuff. It's kind of what. One of the things I'm really grateful for is that through school and university and hanging out with mathematicians since, I've learned loads of maths, and I think I've got a responsibility to just shout loads of it out at the internet to try and give it to other people. Petium's here with a cool problem. We're going to look at this one in 2 seconds more, and then I am happy. Start typing. I'm happy for a cool problem in chat, provided it's not the physics one that we tried to do last week and didn't do very well at. So this is the challenge, right? HE3. We haven't been able to prove that this is impossible to traverse yet. If it's impossible for an interesting reason, and I'd be happy either way. I think if it's traversable, if we can go through. Can I point at this? No, I can't. Oh no, I can get my mouse in there. There we go. If it's traversable. Come on, Paint, don't let me down now. If it's traversable, like maybe you go via this, then, oh dear, fail. If it's traversable, then that'll be just cool in itself. If it's not traversable, then that makes the 6 choose 3 one look even more special for being traversable. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing very well at this. I'm going to go over here. It'd be amazing if I traversed it live on stream, right? Oh, and I've already messed up because this point here, look, is connected to these two, and I haven't got anything left to connect that blue one to up there. So as soon as I decided to start like this, I'd already failed. In a way, I suppose this means, so you can start analysing it from one end, right? And the analysis is going to be something like, if you turn this way, then you must do this at some point. And you can loop around in a crazy way, but eventually you're going to connect up like that. And that analysis probably splits into lots and lots of cases, and it's quite fiddly. So maybe not doing that right now. Okay, what's chat doing? I've got chat on screen 3 different places. It's very confusing. Oh right, it's 3D, and you've done 63 and 3D. Let's try and find that post. You put it GeoGebra in chat. Right, let's see if I can get this on screen. Oh yeah, this looks amazing. So this is community, right? You set a problem, and then people going, "Oh, can my computer render this? Oh, this is nice." Right, okay. I'm going to try and get it on screen. Thank you so much for building this. It's so much easier. Instead of making content, why not just get other people's content on the... Oh, where's it gone? Oh dear. Oh dear. There it is. Okay. GeoGebra, never really understood it. There's a problem in chat. It's gone MYNGrid. How many non-degenerate triangles? Okay, we're going to read that in a second. Let's try not to get distracted. Is this 6 use 3? Is this is 8 use 3? Ah, but there's a 6 use 3 subset down here. That's nice. Okay. So this red path here, the solid red path, solves the 6 use 3 puzzle by going through... These are all the ones that end BB? I don't know what the subscript 1 means on these, but the 6G3 configurations, they kind of live in 3D space in this nice way. If you imagine the positions of the 3 ones as coordinates. Well, this is kind of nice. So these have all got BB on the end. It's the follow Pentium 376. I am going to read that at some point. And I'm trying not to read it while I'm also talking about a different problem, which is hard. Okay, and then I guess Olaf's challenge is to go and explore the rest of this. Oh my goodness, there's so much more of it. It's like, I don't know if this is going to hit, but as a cultural reference, when you're a kid, maybe, it's a UK thing, there's these like indoor climbing frame things with lots of like netting, and you explore 3D space by climbing up and going around sort of grid based, and you explore this sort of tunnels and things covered in foam. Everything smells a bit funny. This maze feels a lot like that, because we've explored some of it, and there's all this complicated bit up here. We've still got to like clamber up and down and around and visit all these states that are joined together. Sometimes I've described this as like exploring a museum with lots of connected rooms, like a pyramid-shaped museum with lots of connected rooms, where you want to start in the basement and leave having visited every room exactly once. You don't care about doorways, but every room exactly once. There's lots of staircases, I guess, to get you up from each room to the one above. That's the grown-up version of kids climbing frames, right? Exploring a museum. You want to see all the art. It's an art museum. Right, what's going on with this extra problem then? Okay, so as far as I'm aware, this is unsolved. It doesn't look extraordinarily hard, in the sense that we can kind of see it all on screen, right? It fits in Twitch. Here's the maze. Please visit every node exactly once. I've noticed that Olaf's coloured these red and blue. Super Snowman. Coloured them red and blue. I think that's the parity thing. Your path has to alternate between red and blue. Between these parity things. Yeah, a cool person says this reminds you of a math question with a robot that has to go in every square in a grid. Can you find out what that math question was? Because somebody else mentioned it before, and I can't remember the year. So if you can find it, we could look at that. That might be a helpful thing to do. But I think this is harder than a maths question. Okay, so there's an outstanding problem, I think. I have, if you want to know why we're doing HUs3, I have some reasons why we're doing HUs3. I might do those in a minute, but I think what I owe is I think I owe Pentium. Well, I owe them the action of reading their chat comment, at least. So let's do that. Quickly catching up. Right, so a couple of people are looking for interesting past math questions for us to have a go at. I owe you a document about Hamiltonian paths, because that's what this is. And now I'm reading Pentium's statement. Where is it? How do I get it on screen? Okay. Given an n by n grid, how many non-degenerate triangles? Oh, so it's like grid of points. How many non-degenerate triangles? So we're looking for non-degenerate triangles. Could you form with their vertices on the grid points? Ooh, struggling to generalize the issue of there being gradients. Okay, so non-degenerate triangles. So we've got to select three of the points on the grid, but you're trying not to select three that are collinear, because that would be a non-degenerate triangle. And honestly, my first guess of how to do this problem is something like 16 choose 3 minus the number of degenerate ones, because you're asking me to choose 3 corners and then, oh no, not the degenerate triangles. And it feels like counting degenerate triangles might be easier, counting the ones where it's they're collinear. Yeah, I think I want to do it like that. I'm going to have to think about the gradient. So 3 collinear points for a gradient, for 3 collinear points might be like this. That would be a degenerate triangle. There could be any other line, and if the line goes through lots of points, then you've got to do a kind of factor for which 3 of those points is it. How many lines go through at least 3 points? There you go. How many lines? Distinct lines? Yes, go through at least 3 points. Grid points, we're calling them, I think. Okay, so I would do the problem like this, I think. I've got to count the lines. I guess they could be horizontal. 4 horizontal lines. 4 vertical lines. I'm going to have to worry about 4 with gradient 1. Or was it 3 with gradient 1? This one. Not that first one. Go through 3 grid points. 3 with gradient like that. And I think those are the only lines that can go through 3 points for a degenerate triangle. So this helps me worry about these degenerate triangles. Okay, these ones have got 4 choose 3. So I'm mixing notation, look, because I've learnt both. That's got 3 choose 3, because the ones of gradient... Oh, no. The 3 of gradient 1 are not created equal, because some of them go through 3 points and some of them go through 4, so that's awkward. Yeah. These horizontal ones each come with... So number of degenerate triangles you get from these. You get 4 times 4, because you select which... 4 choose 3, you select which points you're taking. You get 4 by 4 here, and you get 1 plus 4 plus 1 off here, which is a bit awkward. So 16, 16, and 6. So this is my answer then is 16 choose 3, take away 38. Am I anywhere near? Anywhere near? Okay. And a question about MAT scores. MAT scores, for Oxford applicants, you get your MAT score back in January. At the end of the process. For Imperial and Warwick, you can request your MAT score as part of their normal admissions feedback from the relevant university. And I missed all of chat while I was thinking about triangles, so anything you saw happening up there, I didn't see it. I think people have found the MAT 2011 or MAT 2009. And Zoe says, thank you. Keeping it together. And a cool person has found, Matt says we should look at MAT 2009 question 5. I should worry about the ones with the gradient minus 1 as well. 2 things at once. 2 things at once. There are another 6 of those. So I plan, Pentium 376. For your grid, I've drawn a 4x4 grid because that was the one you mentioned as being a reasonable question. And I'm trying to count degenerate triangles because otherwise you could just do 16 choose 3, just choose your favourite random 3 points, get a triangle. The degenerate ones are when the points are collinear, so I'm thinking about lines. For the horizontal lines, I think there's actually quite a lot of triangles like that because there's ones in the top row, there's ones in the second row down, but choosing there's 4 choices of which 3 points it is. So yeah, there's 16. There's some vertical lines to worry about, gradient 1 and gradient minus 1 lines that could go through 3 points. You mentioned gradient being a big challenge for larger values than n, so I've been taking n equals 4 to make the problem really easy. Yeah, should we try and wrap this up then? Same method and you got 516. Divided by 6, 5, 8, 40, 560, take away 44. Yeah, I think I agree. It's 5 on 6, 50, 60. 5 on 6? Yeah, okay. It's quite a lot of triangles. Generalising this to higher n, I would use the same method. So for a 5x5 grid, same method, but I would... how are you going to worry about these? These lines are really irritating because they can go through more than 3 points. So you've got to count how many points they go through, and they can have lots of different gradient. I guess the gradient's always rational because it goes through integer points, and I guess there's limitations on what the rational could be. Yeah, more and more gradients, more and more lines that the degenerate triangles could lie on. So I guess maybe a cleaner version of the question that avoids doing the subtraction and choosing up here is, you have an n by n grid of points. How many straight lines go through 3 or more grid points? And then the actual question you're asking about counting degenerate triangles is harder than that, because then for each one of those lines, you need to add some number to do with how many points actually lie on that line. So this question should be easier. Down here with the star, that question should be easier, but still feels like a fiddly mess. Makes me think, if somebody set you this question and you saw a twinkle in their eye as they imagined a good way of doing it, then I haven't got there yet. Yeah, somebody said with an over 2. I like that. I was thinking about the denominator as well. I'm slightly worried about how, in a really large grid, you might have to worry about gradient like 3/5 or something really awkward. So I was thinking, check all of the rationals. Still, what does it mean to check them, right? I think got this horrible kind of combination of... Yeah, okay, so I've got the right answer, I think, to your 4x4 question, but it felt like a right pain. It felt a tiny bit like those ones where you see these in web ad IQ test, things like how many squares are there? How many triangles are there in this diagram, right? Maybe maybe it reminds me of those slightly irritating adverts for IQ tests on the internet. What was I doing before I did that? Oh, I was going to look at Math 2009. Multitasking. This is a good question. It's a good question. It's feels like I'm missing something clever. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load up Math 2009 question 5 because there's a request in chat. It's got something to do with the previous problem. While I'm loading it on screen, I'm going to think about other methods. Yeah, it seems like a reasonable kind of multitasking thing to do. 2:30, right? 2 maths at once. How's everyone's day going? You alright? I don't do a poll on this because I haven't worked out how to do polls. But you can still, I guess, we've got a lively chat feature in Twitch. It's one of the ones where you've got to actually put a username down. We've got surprisingly many maths usernames on the stream, but I think that's partly because some people made accounts for this stream, which is always nice. Got a request for a Discord as well, so somebody else who emailed in, who I think is not in chat, so I'm not going to say their name yet. Somebody else wrote in and said we should do a Discord for the egg problem, which I thought, do I run a Discord? Neutrino and Herb want a Discord. I see your prep for Cambridge interviews. Ooh. There's a live stream. Ah, this one. I recognise this picture. Okay, here's a Matt question. Oh my goodness, the Chill Math stream. It's becoming the Matt live stream. They've converged. Help. Right, I didn't think of anything clever for triangles. No, you can't just add them together or anything. Yeah, I don't understand Discord really. I'm in exactly one Discord server. I'm in a Discord server for Finite Group, which is a live stream that I watch. I think I've mentioned it before as a cool thing to. If you want to stream maths, you should also watch other maths live streams. And there's that. People in chat love this question, so that's good. Maybe this is interview prep for somebody. Hey, look, it's got an n by n grid of squares. Just like, maybe this is related to both questions. Hooray! Then I can only think about one thing instead of 2 at once. Okay, a tour is a path drawn within the grid such that along the way the path moves, blah blah blah. This is how the squares are. This is describing how the squares are connected. Oh, have I got the mouse on this? No. Let's quickly fix that. I have no idea how to fix that. Is it this? No. Is it? Is it this? It's this. There we go. Okay. This is how the squares are connected. And this is the path starts to finish the same square. So there's this difference between a Hamiltonian cycle and a Hamiltonian path. Hamiltonian cycle gets back to where you started. Hamiltonian path just visits everything once. For the egg maze problem, we've been thinking about Hamiltonian paths. Robbie G, for work. So I'm behind. I was supposed to do a Matt in 10 minutes video for the additional test, which I haven't made. My time limit is end of next week. If I haven't made one before the Matt live stream on Thursday, if I haven't made one before then it's not going to happen. It's possible that I'll be able to find some time. It's annoying, it takes much longer than 10 minutes to make the 10-minute video. Good, and there are unofficial solutions out there, especially because it's multiple choice. What are we doing? Path visits every other square just once. Oh, but they mean all the except for that same square that it started at. Here's a tour. How many guess all the way around? And yes, I remember this question a tiny bit. There's an odd and even thing going on, right? Yeah, it's assumed that n is even in the first 4 parts. Show how tour starts to finish top left square. We've drawn in any n by n grid. So I guess you do something like this, but maybe less wobbly. N is even, so my plan I think is to wiggle up and down, and then end up at the top. So I should coordinate the wiggles to leave a gap at the top, so I can run along the top and get back home. Yeah. Is the tour still possible to start finish? Yeah. Just offset your start point. I'm waiting for the odd even bit. Assuming the first command is an F, what's the value? Oh yeah, we did this on the live stream. Well, we must have. We did all of them. We did all the math questions on the live stream. Here's the odd even bit, I suppose. No. Yeah, this part is the bit that reminds people of the egg maze problem, I suppose. That if n is odd, you can't do this cycle, this tour that visits all the squares. Oh, this is sad. People are linking unofficial solutions in chat because I haven't got my acts together and made official solutions. I'm being undercut by the other 8 billion people in the world. Sometimes I think I might be too much of a control freak. How dare you, everybody else? I was going to get around to doing that at some point. Herb still wants the 10 letters really fast. So it's not just E 10 times. That would... I don't think I'd get fired if I made the answer E 10 times, but people would have questions. Tricky questions to which I could not, I'd be probably someone said some sort of meeting with the head of department. They'd say, James, what have you done? And I'd say E, and they'd say, no, really, you can't do gimmicks on an actual test that we E. You kind of we're gonna have to let you go. Do you have anything to say for yourself? E. At some point, you just got to commit to the bit, right? If you do that check, you got to go through with it. Pentium's got good life advice. Pentium's also said they're doing a Cambridge interview, which means they didn't apply to Oxford, which means that they might still have on the map for something else. Anyway, never mind. Even odd. 3 things at once, right? Because I'm still thinking about triangles a tiny bit. Oh, Imperial. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So maybe Matt, and then maybe Step as well. Maybe Tamua? No, maybe. Should we not? 3. They're a tiny bit like Infinity Stones, right? We shouldn't really let anybody do all 3 of them. Partly because that'd be horrible, and partly because Matt, Tamua, and Step is a lot of maths tests. It used to be impossible to do all 3 Step papers, and now it's impossible again for a different reason. On the subject of doing all three math tests. Right, okay. Is the odd even thing just a parity counting? Yeah, okay. But it's the same sort of parity counting that we've been doing for the egg maze. You take the grid and you imagine colouring in the squares, red and blue, in a diagonal striped checkerboard pattern. So red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, or something around here. Now, if n is odd, well, of course, whatever the value of n, sorry, as you walk around the squares, you'll have to alternate between red and blue. If n's odd, you'll visit like an odd sequence of squares. So the first and last will have to be the same colour, because you've gone red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. N squared, that's odd number of times, so you're starting in with the same colour. And now you want to go back home, but that's the same colour. And every time you take that, you want to take that last step to get back home to the starting square, but you're not next to it, you're at red square. It'd be better if I had a version of that coloured in. You were going to do... Well, it's interesting. This is good market research for me as well, learning about people choosing to apply to Cambridge versus Oxford. I sort of wonder how many Cambridge, Warwick, Imperial students have joined in with Math Livestream and Maths Club stuff. I think it's got to be some. I'm obviously aware of the Oxford students because they turn up and then in Oxford and say, "Oh, hi, watch the stream." Haven't tested it out yet on Imperial. Yeah, maybe up to several. Got to try and remember it sometimes on the stream. That less so for this one because this is sort of random everything. But on the Math live stream, you've got to sometimes remember that some people using this content are trying to get ready for Cambridge interviews or their first year exams in US university, or they've just done introductory calculus somewhere and they want to brush up on differentiation from first principles or something. People are using content for lots of different reasons, and if possible, you want to try and accommodate everyone. Displacement, yes. Oh, hang on. There's actually two different parity arguments you can run on this, I think. Displacement is 0, leftward motion equals rightward motion, upward motion equals downward motion. Yeah, I think that's another parity thing, isn't it? So you must have done your left-right motion. You must have done an equal number of left and right moves to get back home around here. So this robot on screen goes right, 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 left, 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 but then another right, right, and then left, 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 left. So the lefts and rights have to balance out. So it'd be an even number there, and then an even up and down. Oh, loads of people did this. Yeah, which I like a lot. You were using the fact that... What are you using? So that's kind of like doing a parity argument on... It's better than parity, right? It's better than parity because you actually... You have an actual number. Yeah, so the displacement left and right is a number. It could be +3, it could be -2 if you've gone left a bit. Not if you started in that corner, but whatever. The displacement is an actual number, and you can say things about that number, not just about its parity, about its being even or odd. You're actually tracking something better. Huh. Would they take back my offer? I think they... Oh, ooh. Wait. I just catch up. I'm not sure people know that offers that you get over UCAS are kind of legal agreements. I think there's some legal text in there. It's surprisingly hard for universities. Once a university's made an offer, it's, I think, legally tricky to not take that student if they make the conditions of their offer, and if they follow the UCAS system and set it as their firm choice or whatever, then meet all the conditions of the offer, then oops. If you didn't mean to make them an offer, and if you regret making them an offer from the university point of view, then no. I'm sometimes jealous of the Warwick process. The Warwick process seems like a little bit more a bit more automatic sometimes. We should try and get a Warwick admissions person. Do I know at Warwick? I know some people at Warwick. Oh wait, Super Snowman 16 is talking to a cool person about eggs, and I've missed what the context is. I'm going to let them do that. They'll get back to me if they've got. They'll get back to me if I need to read it. I've given up keeping up with chat. I'm not just doing this nice map problem from 2009. I'm having a lovely afternoon. Hauntingly familiar because I'm pretty sure I did it on a professional live stream for work not that long ago. Excuse me. There is. People tell me about him. I think he's the head of the Math Society or something. That's another one. I've got to reach out to them. I kind of need someone at Warwick, I think. Yeah? Yeah. I kind of need an in. I'm not sure I can just message other Jason Rose. Pentium, I haven't been back to BMO1. Sometimes my friends tell me that they've looked back at BMO1 questions and can now do all of them. Which actually puts me off the idea, because if I look back at BMO1, I think it's unlikely that I can just do all of them. And I'll know, while I'm struggling, I'll know that all of my professional mathematician friends are way more accomplished. We should get the other James Monroe. Vice President, right. There's been a President James Monroe as well, of course. Pentium's talking me into BMO1. Let's get it on stream. How do I get BMO1? So I did BMO as a student in school, and then didn't approach it again until university. We tried to do speed BMO1, and I was not very good at that. I found 2022. Is that what we want? No, that's last year's. How do I get this one? I think I might be accidentally looking for a kind of... I'm not sure they've published the questions. Not certain how... Yeah, I'm not sure I can find an official post of BMO1 questions. But you said it's nice. Oh, that's fine. I found some sort of... Oh no, I found a... This is still 22. Okay, just as a warm-up. I'm going to try... I'm going to try doing some of last year's BMO1, just for fun. Which has confusingly got the name BMO1 2023 on their website. Okay, time now 3.5 hours. Whoa. I remember this. Ooh. I don't remember QR codes. Yeah, look, the standard rule. And then go put a solutions doc up. Okay, nice short questions. Right house houses numbers from 1 to n, where n is a 3-digit number. Good, okay. I'm in. Only 1,000 possibilities to check. Oh, 900. Exactly 1 over k of the numbers start with the digit 2. Where k is a positive integer. Okay. So just think about how many start with 2, and it depends whether the first digit is 2 or not for the possibilities, because yeah, if you include all of the ones that start with different cases, so you get some that start with, you definitely get all the ones that start with 2 because they're 20s. K can be different numbers. So definitely have at least 10, and then maybe you pick up another up to 100. So k can only be as big as 9 or 8. So there's not that many possibilities to check. It can't be exactly half the numbers start with 2. The small value to k also impossible. It can't be exactly half the numbers because it ends a 3-digit number and you're never going to get to. Ooh, nah, no, I'm not feeling it. You're never going to get exactly 1/2. Could you get 1/3 of them to start with 2? Maybe. You'd have to go a bit beyond all of the 200s. A quarter, yeah, okay. So you check the possibilities for k equals 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's probably it. Wrong question? This one was fun. Okay. Yeah, I'm not feeling it enough to actually go through the cases. Probably it's quite fiddly to go through the cases. I reckon I've had enough ideas for question 1, so I'll just happily go and calculate. So this is why I don't like going back, because oh god, I'm quite lazy. I'm going to read the questions, have the ideas, and then move on with my life. You've got a sequence. Oh, and there's rules. For the odd terms, multiply the previous 2. For the even numbered terms, take the previous 1 and add 4. Exactly m of these are square numbers. What's the maximum probability? M. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Exactly m. How you want to get lots of them to be square numbers? It feels like if they're reasonably big, so they're positive integers a and b. If they're reasonably big, then adding 4 means that was not a square number. And then you're going to multiply. Let's multiply this by 4 more, so it doesn't feel like a square number either. But after a while, you get another one again. Ugh. I have no ideas on this. No ideas. Starting to have ideas. So if this one's square, working backwards, if this one is a square number, then these things are really similar, because this a2n is a 2n minus 1 plus 4. So its square root has got to be, it's a little bit bigger than a 2n minus 1 squared, but surely it's only a little bit, it's like only a little bit bigger than a 2n minus 1 squared. And then I want to try it out a little bit as well with like a equals 1 and b equals 1. So I wonder if the answer is like 2 or 3 of them, but probably not that many squares. I guess you can get 2 of them to be square numbers just by saying a and b to be square numbers. And you can probably game it so that a3 is another nice square number. But then I reckon, as is usually the case, I reckon that the large number here is a bit of a red herring that hopefully we can do something where the answer is essentially the problem. The problem is no harder for having 2022 down there than it would be if it had a4. Is my guess. A10. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah, okay. So it feels like I'm starting to maybe be able to prove that, or working towards a proof that, kind of, most of these are not square numbers, because and I could go back to being square, right? Could it go back to being square? That'd be annoying. Yeah, I'm missing something here. Hints in chat? No, that's not how this works. And there's a geometry question. How much do I care about the geometry question? Not very much. Great, okay. Oh, look, square grids again. And they're taking it in turns. A's and K's. They're writing in the cells. Two empty cells that show an edge. The game ends when one player cannot move. High score. Yeah, I don't know. Is backtrack a clue? Oh, fair enough. I'm now just skimming questions to see if there's something fun I can say. I'm coming quickly to the realisation that this is not a BMO1 stream, so it's not very chill, chat. Oh my god, 5 gives me flashbacks to all sorts of number theory, but it's BMO1, so it can't be like number theory, right? Number lists of different positive integers starting with 1, ending with n, which each term except the last divides its successor. Okay, not the last, because there isn't a successor to the last one. Oh, so this is about the factors of n, number of lists. Okay, so you're listing out factor of a factor of a factor, and you can go, you don't have to have a particular length of the list. No, we're just counting all the lists. So the list 1n counts, and then if n is even, the list 1 n over 2 n would also count. So something like, you've got to get from, if it's a power of 2, then you get to choose where the splits are. Oh my goodness. The thing we're actually proving is that Fn could be a multiple of anything. Itself, that number could be a multiple of anything. 1f of 6 is 3 because you can go 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 6, or 1, 6. That's very good. I don't get the question part of that at all, but I would like to play with the idea about listing these things out and going, I think via prime factorizations, you want to go, yeah, if I work out how many of these things there are, then I should be able to point at the formula and say, oh, and that's a multiple of, that could be a multiple of 17 for some value of n. Yeah, it feels like you want some sort of formula to say how many there are, or at least some sort of, maybe not a formula for all of them. Maybe you could do a formula for ones that were like of the form 2 to the p, 3 to the q or something. Number of ways through that. If that's, you know, it takes the exotic values depending on p and q, then maybe that could cover all of them. So 2 to the p, the number of ways, f of n for f of 2 to the p, you've got the things in between are powers of 2 and they're increasing. You've just got to choose how many of them you want. Oh gosh. So each power of 2 is either there or it's not. So 2 to the p lists? Yeah, something like that. Oh, that doesn't help me very much with factors because that's just got 2's in. And 3 to the q is going to do something similar because it's going to be 2 to the q because each power of q along the way is either there or it's not. So I've got to think about numbers that don't just have one prime factor. This is fun. Oh, and then it's mad because you can use the in general two factors of 12 don't divide each other, so you might not necessarily be able to have both. That's tough. That's very tough. You need an idea about the roots there, I think. Ways you could is it some way of recursion on it? Nope. And then that looks like geometry or something. Oh no, it's a frog. Sits on the point. Yeah, sure, whatever, I don't know. Okay, good. Okay, cool. Not a BMO stream in any sense. Good idea, not my style. Oh, that's broken. G'day. Let's let that back then. How do I get that back? There we go. Let's reset this. Okay. Whoa, what have we learned? I should not just take math suggestions from chat. Let's go back. I think I want to solve one of these that I couldn't solve straight away. Those square numbers look a little bit amenable. Maybe we're going to go back in and try some square numbers. So what we've got, 2n plus 1. Oh, hello. Nope. A 2n plus 1. There we go, slightly off menu, off piece here. No, that's not coming up. Good, right, okay. Writing. We should learn that we should skip geometry problems. Not a good character trait, but you know. The bit of paper that I was using has also failed to connect. Can I have it back again? No, it's really not coming up. connections. Let's talk about connections. Let's close that and then come back in again. Try my best to avoid broadcasting not sensitive files, but just a list of files. Is this going to come back? There you go, it's back. Pop. Hey, we got it back. Okay, I don't want the BMO question. Over here. Or over here. So you can see it as well. Okay. Square numbers then. And I have the suspicion that it's quite hard to make square numbers out of this. So we're going to start with our sequence with A and B. My plan is that probably lots of these are not square. So then A3 will be the product, will be AB, which I guess could be a square, especially if A and B are both squares. That product would be square. So you could have something like 1 and 1 again, and then the product would be 1, and you'd be feeling quite smug. But then A4 would be, this is probably not a good way of doing the question to carry on doing this. But A4 would then be 5. So can I think of any way to make these all square? I don't know, maybe I don't want all of them to be square, but it'd be nice to be able to show we could have 4 squares. So if the first two are square, then A3 is always square. Can I have A4 to be another square that's 4 more than a square? Am I being daft? I can't think of any squares that differ by 4. They're positive integers. So I think if A2n plus 1 is square, A2n plus 2 is not, because the gaps between squares go, but if they're consecutive squares, the gaps are 3 and 5. If they're non-consecutive squares, the gaps are at least 8. Square, 4 greater than square. Yeah, I agree, Super Snowman. When you do it further, you keep getting perfect squares. Okay. But who said in general A2n plus 1 was square? Nobody said that, right? If it's not square, then adding 4 starts to look pretty sensible. Hang on, let's go. So if A2n plus 2 is n squared, I've realised that 4 is square, and I've got a good difference of 2 squares opportunity here. Yes. I don't know why I want to do difference of 2 squares, but I've got this funny feeling that this is going to factorise somehow. Would be A2n minus 1. Which do differ by 4. So, hang on. Can I just choose this so that every other... Hang on a mo. Those do differ by 4. So if A2n is n plus 2, then you get A2n plus 1 is... Well, the previous one was n minus 2. Because that's odd, and the odd ones are 4 less than the successor even one. Then you get n squared minus 4, and then A2n plus 2 would be... bother, what have I done? I've mixed up odd and even. Have I mixed up odd and even? No, then I would add 4 and I'd get n squared. Okay, hang on. So... But I could make n minus 2 be a square number as well, right? Oh, sorry, n plus 2. Because n is just supposed to be the square root of A2n plus 2. Okay. So this is going to be something like half of them are squares. They're all massive. And the in-between ones definitely aren't squares because they're too close. So redemption to hydrate, which applies to everyone. It's not just me. It also serves me slightly as a clock, because people redeem them at 1 hour, because the thing is, we've been live for an hour. Remember to drink water. If you've been looking at the screen for an hour, remember to blink. Okay. I think I can make that square as well. A quick example. So if this was supposed to be n squared for that one, and I want this n plus 2 to be a square number, then that's fine. Just choose like n is 14, and then this will be a square number that gives me another square number 2 steps later. And repeat that. Don't just pick 14. Pick... Oof. So don't just choose the square there to be 16, for which you would choose the number 14. Yeah, don't just choose 16. Choose... Call that k squared or m squared or something. Don't just choose it to be 16, for which m will be 14. Choose it to be... I want to go back another step. So I want to go back another step so that m is itself 2 less than a square number. So maybe choose m to be 14 squared or something. I keep working backwards. Backtrack was a great clue, thanks. I now think you can make half of them be square numbers, and you can't do better than half because then you'd get 2 in a row. And I think neither of these, if you're clever, neither of these admits 2 squares in a row. Except for the start. Because the start you can do anything. Irritating. Yeah, I want to turn this into a formula, I think. So, if you know the value of a 2n plus 2, then you want to set a to n to be, what did I want this to be? 2 more than the square root of a 2n plus 2, which, if you're clever, will be a whole number, even one. Ooh. LaRue's back and attempted the what prompt, but the what prompt has not worked well today because we're trying to do everything at once. We're now doing a BMO problem. I think I'm almost there with this one. So yeah, all these like nested square roots and 2 pluses. But if you just set that to be... There is a number, which... Do that. You could set a 2n minus 2 to be 2 plus the square root of 2 plus the square root of a 2n plus 2. And if you set... Okay. What's going on then? I now think this was not helpful. Yeah, 2022, because I couldn't find 2023. So we're attempting question 2. I've got to do some bits of proof, I think, to really tie this together. But somebody who's seen this question before, am I close enough to pretend that I'm done? Is this enough? I think it's good if you look at the first couple of terms. Am I good? Am I done? Am I done? I sort of think I've discovered something about forcing all the even numbered ones to be squares forever. By saying the even ones to be, saying the odd ones to be just 4 less or something, and choosing it carefully, you get a square along the way. Let's try that out. So it's something like so there's n plus 2 for the actual term. That's not a square. What am I talking about? No idea what I'm doing. Oh no, you choose n to be 2 less than the square. Right, okay. n to be 2 less than the square. So you get this target of making 14 squared. Well, then you'll hit 16 over here, because you'll go 16 goes to... oh gosh. Previous one would have been 12. And then this one would be 12 times 16. 12 times 16. That's something huge. I think I might have chosen the worst numbers as examples as well. 3,292. And then plus 4. So product. And then plus 4. Now this is an example of how you could get 92 plus 4 is 196. That's an example of how you can get a square followed by a square. What's the rule there? So I should just combine these together, right? I should have done this a while ago. But this is something like a 2n plus 2 is equal to... no. A 2n plus 2 is 4 plus... this one is the product of the two before. A 2n minus 1. But a 2n minus 1, which is 4 less than... something like that, which is a 2n squared minus 4 a 2n plus 4, which is... oh, it's taking me a while to get there. It's taking me a while to get there, but I think I'm getting there. All squared. Right? So it goes from 16 to 14 squared. Square. Wait. That is... the even ones are always square. Wait, hang on. What is going on? That makes me think the even ones are always square whatever you do. Even being the square of go back a couple of steps, take off 2 and square it. Thanks for the follow. We're at 127 followers. Oh no, something in chat says I've met the follower goal. We're at 128. That was it. That was you. We did it. We did it. Yay! Couldn't have come at a better time. Oh, we discovered a hilarious out by 1 error. Let's go. What's the next goal? Tell me in chat. We hit 128. Soccer Juan 574. First time chat. They do a Kenobi reference. They say hello there in chat and cause chaos. Excellent stuff. Is it 256 is the obvious target? Larry wants to hit 314 over the stars. Can we think of an interesting number in between 128 and 256? What's more realistic as a target for me? Oh, I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Oh, I'm all riled up. I reckon I've worked out that there's just loads of squares in this sequence. There's squares everywhere. Oh, amazing. 129, right? Hey, how fast is it to set up? Twitter, are you going to give me a thing? TikTok. What is this? Not TikTok or Twitter. It's Twitch. That's what we're on. How do I set a new one? I've no idea how I did it in the first place. Hooray! Woo! Good stuff. Right. Okay. 196 is a good shout because it's 14 squared, which is on screen, to celebrate the incredible use of the number 14 squared. So, upshot, I think if you just choose the numbers to be anything that differs by 4, 6, so then you'll add 4 to get 9, and then you'll do the product, 45, and then you'll add 4. Oh, this is great. This is amazing. It was everyone in chat knowing that this would happen all along. This is brilliant. 45 times 49, and then add 4, and you'll get another square. This is great. It's full of squares. Or 4 less than a square, and then you'll add 4 and you'll get another square. Oh, you do something like AB plus 4, perfect square, So A5 is that squares for all even terms. And that maybe happens generically, or maybe if you start correctly, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I should have written it out. The thing I dismissed as writing it out like this, if I'd kept going, what would have happened? So I'd just done the add 4, I would then, if I'd done one more step, I'd have seen that that's a squared b squared plus 4ab, and then a squared b squared plus 4ab plus 4, at which point I would have spotted that that's a square. And I would have... Okay, I should have worked out a couple more terms. There's maybe some exceptions at the front that you can choose A and B neatly for, to make sure that you get some squares over there as well. Yeah, look at that. Thank you, a cool person in chat. Start with some squares. Oh, if you start with 2 squares, is that even better? Hang on. I'm being a bit slow. 1, 4. So then the rule would be you add 4, you get 8. You multiply the previous 2, you get 12. I'm not getting very many squares here. You add 4, you get 16. Oh, I've got a square. Yeah, so I think my question is how many squares can you get out of the first 4? And I think it is 2 at most, but I'm not certain. And there's now just a fiddly problem about A's and B's, right? You gotta, yeah, Because the magic of making that one a square relies on these differing by 4, and there just aren't any actual squares that differ by 4. So if you want that to be a square, you can't have both of those. This one's definitely not a square because it's 4 less than that one. Yeah, you can have at most half of these, I think, and you start with 1 and you get an extra one in there as well. And then every other term. So you can choose. You can, after a while, you get every other term. ... every other term. And I think you can choose which 2 of the first, out of the first 4 terms. This one definitely not, because it's too large. And then out of these first 3, which 2 do you want? But you can't have 3. I think otherwise you'd have 2 squares that differ by 4. Okay. I'm pretty sure we don't include 0 in this question. Otherwise you would do something like 0, 0, 4 and get 3 squares. And then, oh my goodness, the sequence would be really fun, because then it would go 0 again. And then it would add 4. And then it would get 0 again, and then 4. Yeah, that's probably not allowed, right? Would be good. Was that the correct interpretation? Add 4, multiply, add 4. Does the first term ever come into this? What's I actually doing around here? Oh, is it not? It's not supposed to be add 4, is it? Oh, I'm an idiot. Am I an idiot? Yeah, I'm an idiot. First thing's supposed to be multiply. My first bits at my start sequences are a little bit out. First step's supposed to be multiply, which makes me think that actually you could start with some squares. Yeah, like you said in chat. You could start with some squares and then add, and then multiply, and then add, and then multiply. 144 and 24, it's 1. Why can't I multiply? I'm sure I used to be able to multiply 160, 192, 196. There we go, again 14 squared. Maybe 196 should be the goal. I think it's 496 is a good, perfect number. Gold. And then this is good because we've got squares on every other term, and that one's not square. Oh, I'm losing interest, but multiply. Multiply! No, what am I doing? Multiply, add 4. Multiply. Can't multiply. Look. Thank you, 4 times this. Yeah. It's chill, isn't it? It's chill. If it was supposed to be correct maths, it would say something different up there. Right, good. Okay. Where do we want to go next? 4 times 8 is not 12. Welcome to Not the Matt live stream. That's how you get a catchphrase. Oh, damn. You hit your follower goal, but also monkey paw curls up and follow us for being an idiot. Maths is hard. Good, right, okay. I think I've learned not to do BMI problems on stream, but that's not something I would have known. Something I would have suspected, but not known for sure. Now I think I know for sure. Don't do BMI problems on stream. Good. to try and redeem myself here, I had some kind of more advanced parity arguments for the egg maze problem. So I'll go back to that, I think. I had just two ideas of bits of maths I wanted to show you to try and justify this h use 3 thing that we've been doing, or not quite doing. To jump up from 6 use 3 to h use 3. Last week on the stream, we had this amazing Pascal's triangle diagram. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Where in blue circles, we've got ones that are traversable, and they kind of, the ones we found so far, form these two diagonal segments around the outside that are trivial and easy to traverse. In the outside diagonal, trivial here because there aren't any eggs, trivial down this side because there aren't any ones, trivial down this side because it's entirely ones, so there's nowhere else to go. In the middle, these ones are also easy to traverse because there's only one 1 or only one 0, so you just bubble it along through the positions. And then the only other one we found to traverse so far is this 20 case here, this 6, n is 6, r is 3. And that's why we're looking at 56 next. This n is 8, r is 3 case. Because in red here, we've got ones that are impossible. We have these kind of complicated parity arguments to do with counting. So we do this kind of circling and counting and thinking carefully about colouring them in black and white, and then the kind of network of the graph for these cases up there for r equals 2. I came up with a better way of doing some of these parity arguments, and this lines up with an email that Owen Thomas sent me as well. So hi Owen, if you're watching. My strategy works like this. You want to, so given an ordering of, so it's not really an h use 3 thing, given an ordering of n digits, r of them 1 and the others are 0. The thing we were thinking a lot about last week was to define the sort of parity of that ordering as +1 if the sum of the positions of the ones is even, and -1 if the sum of the positions of the ones is odd. And I think we flip-flopped a little bit between maybe calling those things even and odd or colouring them in different colours. It's that network thing about how if you have something like the 4 use 3 problem, where you've got 4 digits, 3 of them 1, so n equals 4, r equals 3, then you can kind of see this as stepping between even and odd, or +1 and -1 positions. So, gosh, let's think. The graph we drew last time had these kind of like laid out in this grid structure. There are 6 of, there are only 4 of them. What am I doing? Put r equals 2 in there. There are 6 of them. So here, for this one, you would say 1, 1, 0, 0. The positions are first position and the second position. The sum of those is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is an odd kind of -1 parity. But then if you do a move, you get to 1, 0, 1, 0, or something like that. And now the ones are in positions 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, which is even, which has +1 parity. And that relationship between moves and the parity changing is good because in an actual walk where you zip around this graph, you'll have some starting point way over there, and you have some end point way over there. But in between, every step that you take changes the parity because it switches a 0, 1 for a 1, 0, or vice versa, which changes the position of that 1. So along the way, the parity like this will be -1 + 1 -1 + 1. Now, along an actual walk from a start square to an end square, overall, the sum of the parities, parities being plural of parity with a y, must be -1 or 0 or 1 for the graph to be traversable. So this is kind of a powerful feature of this problem, that the graph is not just a random mess. It's got these, like in Olaf's picture, red and blue colouring you can put on it, so that the red nodes are only joined to blue nodes, and the blue nodes are only joined to red nodes. So as you walk through, you have to go from blue to red to blue to red to blue to red. Now, in this particular graph, you have to start at blue and end at red, or vice versa. So along the way, you have to go blue, red, 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 and the sum of the parities there will have to be 0. You could get away with it being 1 if you started and ended at +1, or -1 if you started and ended at -1. But there's this kind of rule about stepping through and alternating along the way. This is not true in general, because in general, for a general graph, there's no sense of parity that you can draw on that graph. Generally, things seem to join together all over the place, and then you might not have this switching between states kind of thing. Anyway, this is a powerful idea because it lets you analyze the states beforehand and say, aha, it's impossible to traverse all of these states in some cases because the sum of the parities is not one of these things. And Owen sent me in a big table that they'd calculated using some recursion relations to show that unless n is even and r is odd, this thing's impossible, except in the trivial edge cases, which leaves us with would leave us with trivial edge cases, and then these kind of spaced out gaps of maybe that's traversable for parity reasons. I want to show you just 2 quick ideas using this concept. In that kind of classic university maths thing where you define a concept and then you do a couple of things with it to make it worthwhile. I'd also like to turn the light on. Whoa, that went off a bit, didn't it? Sorry, webcam. I should have warned poor little webcam. Should have warned you I was going to do that. Bleeding everywhere. But I'll drink some water as well. Isn't this nice? We've gone from a dark room with no hydration to a light room with hydration. I'm now silhouetted. That's fun. Can't have everything. Okay. Here's one argument that we could do. So if n is even and r is odd, so I'm going to claim then the sum of parities is 0. Sorry, I got excited to write the word 0. Oh, have a cuppa as a reward. Oh, that's a good idea. In between streams, before next time I go live, my to-do list has make some emotes, set up other rewards. I'd have to go and put the kettle on, right? Oh, this is a British live stream. We have a cup of tea occasionally. Whoa, lovely, lovely. Okay. Proof. So, for each ordering of r ones and m minus r zeros, consider the ordering as the reverse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse it. Now I claim that has that. Okay, so I claim that is a different ordering with the opposite parity. Maybe I could just have said has the opposite parity. So it will cancel out when you add up all the parities. This is slightly tricky to actually count, but essentially the way it works is so a 1 in position 1 moves to position n, which is even. A 1 in position 2 moves to position n minus 1, which is odd. So you see it's sort of switching. Every individual one switches to the other side. Dot dot dot, and there are an odd number of 1s which are all changing places. So overall, the parity of the ordering changes. See you likes Catmog, and also you're here live. I forgot to react to your message when you said you're here live. This week we have, I guess appropriately, a UKMT mug. They gave me a mug once. They made me suffer with some BMI1 problems on stream. No, that's not true. We solved a problem. Which would be nice. Didn't take half an hour either. We're getting a Discord maybe. Half an hour to go. Okay. So the sum of the parities of all orders, all orderings, sums to 0. So that's not too bad. There's kind of two different ideas in here. Something that's been tricky for me to keep straight in my head is I'm imagining for each ordering, you're doing a little sum to add up 1 and 3 and 4. That's even. And over here, 6 and 7 and 8. Oh, that's odd. So there's a little sum in there. And then I'm imagining a much larger sum across the 56 of these things. Hey, we got a Discord. Cool. Let me get in that. Good. Okay, so there's one idea that I had, which shows that these which shows that these things you can never do the even n odd r cases by parity argument. And there are others. Hey, people are getting in the Discord. We've got a Discord now. I should probably not be in this at the same time as being on a stream. Okay. Back at it. Okay. I had another idea. So that's discounting the parity argument for a lot of cases. But then I had this other idea about counting the parity in general. Oh, that's going to go up as well, is it? Oh, it's telling me things. Which works like this. Parity counting recursion. And shout out to, oh gosh, a couple of people sent me recursion arguments for this. And I can't exactly remember who. I love if it was you, then hi. Anyway, you're here now, so that counts as a shout out. My plan for this is to look at the first 2 digits. So, the first 2 digits, so if you've got n digits are 1s, there are 4 cases for what those first 2 digits might be. And then that's followed by more stuff. Now, in the first case, this has got the same parity as the ordering of, and then it's n minus 2 digits and r 1s. And then this one has got the same parity. Oh no, this has got the opposite parity, excuse me. Opposite parity. as an ordering of n minus 2 with r minus 2 ones, because this is a 1 in the first place, this is a 1 in the second place, and there's more stuff. 1 plus 2 is 3, which is going to throw off the count. So you take this string over here, you add up the positions of the ones, but then you add 3 more, so that flips the parity from being odd or even. These ones, these cancel. So you don't have to overthink it very much. This sequence at the end has got r minus 1 ones in it, in suppositions of the n minus 2 digits, but it doesn't really matter what, because this one at the front could be here, preserving the parity of that sequence, or it could be here, changing the parity of that subsequence. So that those cancel out, which in effect means if you call f for the sum of parities, then what you need to do is f of nr is always equal to f of n minus 2 r minus f n minus 2 r minus 2, and this gives you a beautiful kind of Pascal's triangle relationship, which is very nice. It's sort of really similar to Pascal's triangle, except in twos, and the twos in here are a bit away. I guess what you want to do is look at the even n odd r cases. You know, it's just nice, right? We've got to do some small ones as well. Small cases, right? With like, so small cases, you go something like n is 2 for 2 digits. Seems like a good place to start. So you might have no 0 ones. It's quite hard to think about. But 1 is not too bad to think about. There's a case where it's in the odd position or the even position. So the sum is 0. And then if there's 2 ones, the sum is 1. There's 1 in the first position, 1 in the second position. The sum there is 3. I can't quite remember what I want to do about no ones at all. I guess 0, 0. So the sum is 0, which is even. See if that goes wrong for me in a second. So this is, in case it's not clear, I'm trying to start a Pascal's triangle kind of thing. Instead of listing the number from Pascal's triangle, I'm listing about ready to do a Pascal's triangle kind of thing. Anyway, so with 3 digits, if you have r equals 0, then I guess I'm calling that 1. I might regret that in a second. If you've got r equals 1, then it could go in the first place, the second place, or the third place. Some of the parities there is 1 minus 1, 1, makes 1. If you've got 2, then it could go first and second. Oh gosh, there's maybe starting to be too many 1s on the screen. Like that, where the parity is the sum of the digits here is +1. This is 1 and 3 is 1 and 2 is a -1 case because it makes an odd number. 1 and 3 is an even case, so +1. 2 and 3 is odd, so the sum there is -1. R equals 3. You get 1, 1, 1. Odd, even, odd makes odd overall. How much do I regret this? A tiny bit. Maybe something like this. I regret this 1 a tiny bit. Let's see if it gives me correct results. Not a good attitude really to take, but what was that? That's 0. So I should try 4 choose 2. So f of 4, 2. And this should be f of 2, 2 minus f of 2, 0. So it's going to really think about that 1 in there. Make me really think about that. It's possible I want that to be -1 to the n or something. +1, -1 to the n plus 1. Okay, so 40. I think because it's not 0, is it? It's 2 or something. There are 6 cases here. They look like this. Six cases, and their parities go 1 and 2 is 3, that's an odd case. 1 and 3 is 4, 1 and 4 is odd. 2 and 3 is odd. 2 and 4 is even. 3 and 4 is odd. So we've got 4 negative cases and only 2 positive ones. Oh, 2, I think. 2 positives, -2. It's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. Fun. Where have I gone wrong? 3 and 4 is odd. Just like how 1 and 1. Yeah, no. She's subtract. One take away 1. Conspicuously, that's not -2. Time to do some maths to work out what I've done wrong. Can I fix this by making this a -1 over here? Yes, that would fix things, wouldn't it? Because if n is 2 and r is 2, then you would have just the sequence 1, 1, which has got parity -1. So that should be a -1 there. And then everything's good. Everything's right in the world. Again, I'm more confident about that being a 1 over there. Yeah, okay, so 1's down here, -1's down here. Definitely. 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is even. It's an even case. It should be a +1. Can't count. Again. Got problems again. Feel like there should be a -1. Can't quite explain why. Maybe we'll keep it as 1 for now. So this is what addition is not entirely trivial. Not entirely trivial, but you end up with this kind of Pascal's triangle thing. I'm not really clear what I want to do about this diagonal here. This is the diagonal with no 1s at all, and parity-wise, I'm summing something which doesn't have anything in it. So maybe those are supposed to be 1s, but it makes me quite uncomfortable because it breaks a lot of the symmetry that I'm getting in this shape. Okay, apart that idea for a bit, I think. We've got a recursion relation. Not totally sure what to do with small cases. I think it's an example of recursion where the recursion step is easier to think about than the fringe cases. Maybe that's because I haven't put much effort into defining my defining my actual definition of what's going on. Yeah, what do you want it to be? Once does it matter? Matters a lot actually, because it's going to affect what this number here is. What's that supposed to be? 5 choose 2? 5 choose. So 5 choose 2. So we can work out what it's supposed to be backwards. Yeah, I think I'm not doing it the way that you did. I think. Possibly. I think my F is slightly different, but I'm not sure. So a clever thing to do would be to look at the difference in parities in general and to say something clever about them. So we got this case with like 5 choose 2 or 5 choose 3. Just put more numbers in the table, right? What could go wrong? This line down here is definitely supposed to be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, because that's putting 1, 1 in all the places. So either if n is even, those balance, or if n is odd, then you have this extra case where you put the one right at the end. That's just the extra odd case. Extra odd case? These -1s. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me, what a mess. When r is 1, you get 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, which is a odd, even, odd. Oh my goodness, there was a -1 in here. Well, now I feel a bit better about everything, actually. Now I feel a bit better about everything. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. We've got some minus ones. We're cooking. We're building a little sort of Pascal's triangle thing where I'm becoming very worried about alternating plus and minus one sequences. I want it to be tidy more than I want it to be correct. Because my ability to detect correct is pretty flawed. So if I'm thinking, oh, this looks wrong, I'm probably just an idiot. But my ability to detect tidiness is much better. So I should aim for that. If I think the solution is if I think the final answer is both correct and tidy, my intuition helps me find tidy things much better than it helps me find correct things, because correct is very, very difficult to think about. What an excuse. Write that down. Correct is very, very hard to think about, says mathematician trying to do Twitch stream maths. You can't just jump in on this. It's actually very hard. Correct is hard to think about. Where'd you let them out from? Where'd you get? So the rule here is you're supposed to go back 2 and to look at n minus 2, choose r minus 1, take away that one, so minus 2. The rule here is you're supposed to go back minus 1 and take off that one, and you get minus 1. Well, that's a mess. Doesn't look true at all. Doesn't even got the right number of digits in the row. Okay, let's erase all of that. Recursion's hard. What is correct? I'm correct. Yeah, no, you don't read up the page. You just read diagonal for the page for the same value of r. Same value of r means you go n2 less, go over there. So it's minus 1, take away 0 is minus 1. n2 less means you go over there. You go minus 1, take away 1 is minus 2. n2 less means you go over there. Take away 1, take away minus 1 is 2. n2 less means n2 less and r the same means you go over here, you get 0. You take away minus 1, you get 1. Giving us a beautiful mismatched kind of sequence for the parity sums. And that's the first row that I've tried to generate actually using my formula. So if I put in 1s down here and minus 1 alternating signs down the other side, I'm going to keep trying to use my formula. 0 take away 0 is 0. Here we've got minus 2 take away 1 is minus 3. Here we've got 0 take away 0 is 0. Here we've got minus 1 take away minus 2 is 1. Here we've got 0 take away 0 is 0. Okay, starting to form a pattern, which I like. I like patterns more than I like anything else. That one's suspicious. Minus 1 take away minus 2 is 1. Oh gosh, really? Don't love this too. Minus 1 take away 1. Minus 2. Fantastic. Minus 2 take away 1. Minus 3. It's feeling incorrect again because the 3 and the 1 look quite unbalanced. I think there is more to correctness than just making sense. You think I should be alternating adding and subtracting every row? Oh gosh. Are you allowing for the fact that I'm reading back 2 rows? So mine have a minus 2 in. I haven't looked at your document for a while. Let's load it up now. Yeah, your recursion relations I think go back 1. Mine try to get around that by going back 2. Because if you just think about the first digit, I think this is the difference between our methods, by the way. You put yours in chat. If you just go back 1, then you have to allow for the fact that parity switches from being the start of the number. So instead of being the second place, it's the first place. So it switches. Whereas if I think about the first 2 digits, then it's good. So I'm trying to read back 2 rows, but it's not going very well. Ideally, I should have calculated this, before. Well, now I'm angry. What a great method, James. Well, how brilliant. Oh, wow. So nobody in chat. 6-2 and 6-4 should be pretty similar. Back up for a sec. The Streamlabs thing is now accurate. We're back on the egg maze problem, but with parity arguments. Wow, we've come full circle back to last week. So all of my numbers are a little bit out in this table, where I'm trying to use this recursion relation to generate this kind of grid of whether things are possible or not. It's supposed to have a left-right symmetry that I'm not really achieving somehow. It's -2 in here. -2, so what's that? N is 2, 3, 4. And that was these. It really is -2. -1 take away 1 is -2. 4 choose 4 problem. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 makes 10, which is even. Oh. 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 And it's 2 problem. 1 and 2 is odd. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Even again. What are these numbers down here? Is it not actually alternating? This is fun. So down this diagonal here, I've been kind of cheating. It's the place where I'm not using my recursion relation. I'm trying to use maths, and I've done that wrong. Because there's this sort of weird pattern that happens when you put an extra 1 on the end. Because that represents, if n is even, that represents another thing in an even position, and it keeps the thing the same. But if n is odd, then it switches. So this is supposed to go 2 at a 2 by 2, I think. So when n is 4, you put a 1 on the 4th position and it stays the same. When n is 5, you put a 1 on the 4th position and it goes to -1. When n is 6, you put a 1 on the minus position, it stays at -1. But I think you get this weird 2 by 2 kind of pattern down that diagonal. That's it. That's the difference. That's what I was doing wrong. Alternating, yep, thank you, Super Snowman 16 in chat. There you go, alternating that diagonal based on this long sequence of 1s, counting the parity. Should give us something like that. And now that explains why I was out here, because that was the first time I referenced this number. 1 to the -2 is 3. Whew. Phew. Okay, I'm going to stop on that row. But I've now convinced myself that if you get the diagonals on the outside correct, and you get the rule correct, then you can generate this thing with recursion relations. Wow, amazing. And I'm now happy that I've got the numbers correct, because they're also pretty and neat and tidy. Wow. How many weeks are we going to spend on this herb? Yeah, I've been thinking about this problem on and off since 2020, so and I'm not done. I think we're almost there, really. What'll happen is someone will do one of these non-trivial problems, and then I'll just probably lose interest. I like it as a way of. So far, I like coming back to it as a way of talking about these parity arguments and recursion, because I know that people find those very difficult. So we're playing around with that like a toy example is just helpful. It's like a sort of sandbox, right? We play with these things on a problem that doesn't matter at all, so that later when you meet a problem that does matter, then you know what sort of things to expect. And we found that recursion is great, but you should also think about your base cases, or those initializing edge cases as well. And you should think about them very carefully, because if you get them wrong, then recursion will give you wrong answers all the way down. There is going to be a code. We're getting papers out of this, are we? Oh, great. Okay. That is great. So there are these cases left over where the parity is 0 or -1 or 1. I should use in blue. Well, no, not quite blue, is it? Because blue we were using for traversable. So I'll circle in red the ones that are impossible. So if you look at every other row, it's kind of Pascal's triangle, but with minus signs and spaced out, with padded out with zeros. So you get this kind of route through here of things that are impossible. The other rows in between are like Pascal's triangle, but with repetition. 1 1 2 2 1 1. The next one I think is 1 1 3 3 1 1 1 3 3 3 3 1 1 with plus and minus signs. I don't know what this triangle's called. It's not Pascal's triangle. There's lots of things a bit like Pascal's triangle that you can do. Have you seen my chaotic version of Pascal's triangle? Have people seen that? I don't want to do it again if I've done it recently on the stream. There's a way to combine Pascal's triangle with chaos. I might do that. That's 10 minutes. We're doing fun triangle facts. Anyway, side note for people who are interested in the egg maze problem. We've only got to try out these ones with the zeros. I think the numbers quickly get way too large, so we've already ruled out these ones for different parity reasons. And then there's these kind of safety zeros. There's the 6G30, and there's this kind of nice pattern to them. N, even, R, odd. 8G3 is the next one, I think. Yeah, there's a Sierpinski triangle thing, but you can do better than that. Let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it, then it's not happening. But oh gosh, no, it's not going to be there, is it? Right, how am I going to do this? So, Pascal's triangle. Let's go in Excel quickly. Okay, this is now an Excel stream. Thanks for the follow. Everyone celebrate. Pascal's triangle. What have you got? You've got ones and zeros, right? So what we want is some sort of spreadsheet way to keep track of those, which would be something like this, I guess. No, let's put it in the left corner. Something like this. You'd have a whole bunch of ones down here, and you'd have ones in the diagonal. But you could do better than that, right? Because then each one is supposed to be the sum of the things like that. And actually that will work across there as well. So this will give you Pascal's triangle. And if you just sort of, Excel's quite good at this, that if you, first you drag these ones down to say I would like a lot of ones, and then you drag down like, oh gosh, come on, get the pattern. Come on, Excel, don't let me down. We're doing an Excel stream. That's what everybody wants, right? Let's just ask Bill Gates. Wants Excel to be featured on Twitch. Now playing Excel. Brilliant. Okay, so I've got a load of zeros in there as well. I guess I want to type those just to fill this out like that. Okay, so we've got zeros along the top, and we've got ones down the first diagonal. Let's try and... There we go. And the hashes are for really large numbers, I guess. Thanks, Excel. Can we do conditional formatting on this? This would be nice. Something interesting happens if you highlight the even numbers. Now, we're now an Excel stream. So we've got to remember how to do Excel formatting. Oh, why have they put conditional formatting these days? Did I switch it off at some point because I hate it? I did switch it off because I hate it. More rules. Could I have... Problem. Problem. Right, okay. So let's do a new table that is going to be whether these things are even or odd or not. It's just slightly awkward to me. So we're going to make a copy of this one. Perfect. Nope. Come on. Excellent stuff. And our copy is going to refer back to the first sheet, but it's just going to show us whether these numbers are even or odd. We should deal with all the hashes. There we go. So you get zeros and ones. Odds and evens again. So some people like even. Some people like +1 -1 for their parity. I've gone for 1 and 0 at the moment. Let's put a new rule on this. 2 color scale is nice. Cool. So you get this kind of cool pattern that forms, which, in a very pixelated way, is a pattern you might have seen before, made of these triangles, right? So there's this triangle here, and there's a larger triangle down here, and there's copies of the small triangle again, and they're arranged around, just like that. Just kind of nice. It makes you, want to go a little bit further. Just see if we can. Let's try going out like that, out like that, and put the ones in. How far have I gone? 37 AW. So I can zoom out a bit. Go down to 37 and go out to AW. But be careful not to. Microsoft will do all sorts of weird stuff if it thinks it can detect a pattern. And it sort of can detect a pattern, but not the correct pattern. So the kind of nice thing that happens as you load out more is that it forms this larger pattern where this is the bit we were looking at before, and then it forms this larger triangle underneath, and it does copies of the previous thing, and you can see it setting up to do copies of the previous thing again. It's called the Sierpinski triangle. People in chat have got that. And you might like to think about why it's happened. Not obvious, right? What odd and evenness has got to do with Sierpinski's triangle. If you prefer, there's a way to look at this where you ignore all of the numbers and you ignore all of the ones and zeros, and you treat it as a rule that says each cell is looking up at the previous two. It has to. That's how these things work in Pascal's triangle. But there's this kind of rule, right, where if there's two orange cells, it'll draw an orange cell here. Even plus even is even. If there's two yellow cells, it'll draw an even cell here. Let's zoom in a bit so I can show you these examples. So ignoring where the ones and zeros come from, every time there's two yellow cells, there's an orange cell there. Every time there's two orange cells, there's an orange cell there. And when you get an orange cell and a white and a yellow cell, it puts a yellow cell down, and those are the cases. So that kind of explains a tiny bit that it's just following these rules, and the rules generate Sierpinski's triangle. There's a more complicated version we can do, which has kind of different rules on the ones and zeros. That's what I'd like to show you in the next 3 minutes. Okay, so we're going to try and duplicate this again. And this time we're going to have a new rule, which is just going to be, we're going to start with 1, just 1, 1, and we're going to forget everything else. That was kind of annoying. No, we're going to forget everything else. And we're going to make this new rule that is going to look at not just 2 cells, but 3 cells. So I actually want to put the 0, I want to put the 1 here or somewhere to illustrate a little bit better what's going on. And I want it to look at the tree squares, the one above and the one on either side. And I've got some cases that I'd like to do. If the sum of these 3 is equal to exactly 1, so I need to go, if the sum of this is equal to 1, then I'd like you to say 1, and if not, I'd like to say 0. Okay, so that gives us a new rule that we can paste in not quite everywhere. Not quite everywhere, because it's going to look left, which is a bit annoying. But if the sum is exactly 1, then you can generate this pattern. Oh, it's going to error message all the way down, really? Which is kind of nice, and gives you a kind of similar looking shape. I've got to hard code these zeros. I'm actually going to move the 1 to the right a bit. Yeah, so I've got this kind of playground of stuff to play with. There we go. And then if I put a 1 in here, there we go. I don't like the way it's put zeros everywhere else, but never mind. Oh no, it's colour coding them. It's changing the colour coding. Then you build Sierpinski's triangle again. Yeah, rules and stuff. It's like Conway's Game of Life in that there are rules. Sorry, that sounded flippant, but you get this kind of pattern again. And this one has generated Sierpinski's triangle again. Now, if you change the rule, and I'm going to change the rule just a little bit, you can get other behaviour. So this is detecting whether the string above is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 1. And if you add in just one more case, now can I get this right? And then the other case I want to consider is kind of asymmetric. I want to do an OR case here. And the OR is going to be something like, can I remember this? That one plus 2 times that one plus 4 times that one is equal to 6. Yeah, 0, exactly 0, 1, 1. That's it. So there's an extra case in here where now there's just an extra rule about what to do in precisely the case. I've got this to number 6. So it looks, if the thing's above is 1 and the one just to the right of that is also 1, so exactly 0, 1, 1 above, here, 0, 1, 1, I wanted to put a 1 in that case. Before it would have said 0, but now it says 1. And the nice thing that happens now is there are now exactly 4 cases that would lead it to say 1 underneath. The ones where there's exactly 1, 1 above, which, can I see any cases where that happens? Ah, yeah, here's one. So where there's exactly 1, 1 in out of the 3 above, put a 1 here. Or if there's exactly 1, 1, put a 1 there. If there's exactly 1, 1 on the left, put a 1 there. But that was a 0 because that's 2 1s. Plus this new exception case where it's exactly the string 0, 1, 1. So it's just 4 rules, right? There's a little bit of symmetry breaking because it looks right more than it looks left. But the pattern you get out now is sort of chaotic in that it's not Sierpinski's triangle. It's doing something a lot more complicated. And it generates, one thing you could say is sort of arbitrary amounts of complexity as you go down and to the right. Another way to look at it, just ignoring this left row where it's really annoying. It's hit the edge of my spreadsheet, so it's not doing too much interesting stuff there. But along here, it's kind of sensible, this diagonal. Down this bit, it's kind of sensible. And then you've got this bit, which is kind of sensible. And then that bit. But then the shapes that you're getting down here are more and more esoteric and new. So down in this direction, pointing lined up with the screen. There we go. In this direction, it gets really complicated. It keeps getting more and more. That's the link between Sierpinski chaos or Pascal's chaos, right? It's a little bit like Pascal's triangle because it's looking at the rows above. The thing to Google if you want to see this again is not the egg problem, but if you look up, we've got to do this carefully. We're going to do this very carefully. We're going to go to MathWorld. Hey, let's just jump into a frequently visited page on perfect numbers. And if you look up Rule 30, then you get this article on Wolfram MathWorld. This is actually the thing that Wolfram worked on, cellular automata, the book A New Kind of Science. And here's another picture of it, another interpretation in black and white squares of these rules based on what the things above are. And there are exactly 4 cases here, generating this output. It's one of these elementary cellular automaton. It does such nice stuff. I believe this is the one that's used on Cambridge North Station. So if you're visiting Cambridge North Station, there's a chunk of this. I believe it's Rule 30. Stephen Wolfram has got one of these for each number up to 256, and they do a variety of different behaviours. Let's zoom in there. Variety of different behaviours that could be like Sierpinski-like, or checkerboard, stripes, or this kind of chaos. So the cellular automata, they're kind of a bit like Conway's Game of Life, which is very famous and popular, of course, but on a sort of one-dimensional tape. Here's all of them. Oh, brilliant. So if you want to find out more, go for elementary cellular automaton. Sure. So that's what Stephen Wolfram calls them. Elementary as in basic, because there's only one row. So time kind of goes down, space goes across. So you've got this like row of cells that may be coloured in or not, and as you go down. You saw this a few days ago. Yeah. So let me try and find another link for you, which is the Cambridge. So using this in art, I think, yeah, here we go. So thanks Google. Cambridge North, it's covered in Rule 30s. Oh my gosh, it's covered in Rule 30s. The designer liked the aperiodic pattern so much that they repeated it all over the building. There you go. here's tipped 45 degrees, chunk of that bit. So Stephen Wolfram went back and analysed the train station to find out which bit they'd used, to design them some other ones, trying to maybe avoid that big chunk or not. So other things you could do. Good, right, okay. Good, I feel like we taught people a thing. James Grind did a really good video when it was opened, I think on Numberphile. Is it a James Grind train station? Will that find it? Yeah, here's a post on X from 6 years ago. Is it 6 years? My goodness. Cambridge is a new Mathsy train station. I'm not sure I can load the YouTube link here. Let's have a go. It's going to play ads, isn't it? Yeah, it's playing stupid ads. Right, good. Okay, cool. I think it's 4 o'clock, so I'm supposed to wrap up. We got chat. I've just seen Joe in chat says, cool. Oh, hi, Nextnator. Oh dear. Did you get your phone back? What a terrible 2 hours. Yeah, I saw your message saying thanks, and then is your phone gone now? I'm always worried I'll do that. You did not get your phone back. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. That's terrible news for a weekend. Yeah, it does remind you of the Paris paving because it's aperiodic. It's not in a pattern. If you visited the maths department in Oxford, then you've seen something a bit like this as well. That's right. Oxford's got aperiodic tiles as well. Interview decisions should be coming out over the course of this week. Yeah, I don't want to promise a particular day of the week, and actually because they're done college by college, you might find that your friends get emails sooner or later. Please don't panic. Colleges, I think, are on schedule to send out those emails during this week. Yeah, and Zoe, I'm gonna try and do a mini map. My deadline is Thursday. If I don't do it before the live stream on Thursday for the work live stream, then it's probably not happening. You went to the open day and didn't see our tiling. It's outside the front. It's on the ground. We're very proud of it. We're maybe going to have to redo it now that they've got the hats. Or the Spectre is the other cool one, because you have to flip it. I'm just so taken by the idea that JOA111 in chat. First time chat, cool. Just I like that a lot. Good. I don't remember what question I was in the mat. Oh, question I. That's not the answer. Was the one with the polynomial with a repeated root at x equals m? Cubic in a box? I think it's polynomial with, p of 0 is 0, p of 1 is 1, p of 2 is 2, repeated root at m. What's the value of m? Maybe? There might have been another fact about the cubic. Let me think. That's enough facts. Open the live stream by saying 10 letters really fast. That would be 10 out of 10 content. 10-second video. Yeah, it's very tempting. Probably would only take a couple of minutes to make as well. I just feel like I owe people slightly more than that. We got 129 followers. That's excellent stuff. Next target is probably number 196 in tribute to 14 squared being somehow a repeating number in today's live stream. It's been a bit of a chaotic one. We've been all over the place. We attempted some. Oh, was that Mat A? Oh yeah. What's Mat B? Oh yeah. There've been too many short questions this year, right? We've 20 short questions. Oh, there's an idea. 9 A's and a B, so 9 choose 1. 10 choose 1 possibilities. 10 possibilities, come on, James. Today. this is the summary. We do one of these. It's important for some reason. Today we have looked at parity for the egg maze. We have seen, thanks to a collaborator, somebody emailed me. Olaf, thank you, Super Snowman16, has emailed me a map of the HE3 egg maze. Looks pretty hard to solve. We did a BMO1-ish, thanks to the UKMT, from 2022. We had a quick look at mapped parity. Somebody sent in that mapped parity robot question. A little bit of a look at degenerate triangle counting. That was fun, but I think my favourite thing we did today was kind of home turf for me. Excel, Pascal, chaos, which makes me think that maybe what I should do with these is more of this is prepared content in some sense that I've done it before. This was very unprepared content in the sense that I'd not seen it before, and maybe I preferred doing this one, but maybe it's good for me to do things that are unprepared and bad. There are links in the new Discord server. Yeah, there's a Discord server somewhere in here. It is official in the sense that someone made it in chat, but unofficial in the sense that I didn't make it. That's the Discord. Now I'm going to have to put a command in for the Discord, and I'm going to remember the Discord. I looked at BMO1 from 2022. Don't worry, it was a warm-up. People want me to look at 2023, I think, because it was quite recent, but I couldn't find an official copy of the questions. Phone was in the drain. Yeah, sorry, Zoe. Right, I hope you... I don't know what your life is like now. I don't know if you A, have to talk to drain people to get your phone back, or B, talk to phone people to get more phone. Either of those sound pretty rubbish. So, what do you say to people with a phone in the drain? Not very much. Yeah, right. Okay. Joe's like a big fear for me as well. Like, I drop a lot of things, and eventually I'm going to drop something somewhere I can't get it back. Right. Okay. Oh yeah. Someone's been training them, or they've been training someone. Right, good. Okay, got some ideas for next time. As far as I know, I'm going to see people this week. Thursday is interview problem map live stream. I think that's this week. Yeah, probably, because interviews are quite soon for Oxford. So I saw Pentib in chat was talking about Cambridge interviews as well, so we might do some stuff there. And I think I'm free this time next week to do, I don't know, maybe BMI problems for punishment, or something else. Maybe no more egg maze for a bit. I think we might park the egg maze. Let's park the egg maze for a bit unless we solve the HE3 problem. Yeah, see, more eggs probably, says Irv. So I've got to try to keep Irv coming back. I've got to at least pretend that it's not just eggs from now on. Irv comes back and it says egg maths on the screen. Oh no. Eggs. Right, good. Okay. Have a good end of November, everyone. Next time I see you, next month. I've got to work on a sign off for these. I mean, emotes, follow a goal. Oh yeah, today let's hit the follow a goal. Got to find out what happens. This is a target animation came up. Emotes, follow a goal, workout content, something else. Work out a sign off. Commands. Thank you, Neutrino. Yes. Discord. Oh. Twitch streams, eh? Never as easy as they look. See you next week. Ciao, bye.